Hi, everybody. I am live. Welcome to this special live stream. Hi to all of you replay viewers watching on the replay. I really appreciate you coming and checking out what I've got to offer. If you don't know me, I'll cover that in just a minute. Comment if you have got some kind of wrist pain or not wrist pain, hip pain. Wrist pain was last week. If you didn't watch last week's episode and you have got some wrist pain or you want to reduce the tension throughout your upper body, go and watch that first live stream from last week. But this week, it's hips. It's all about the hips. And I do have a Happy Hips video program for free, so you can check that out. And what I'm going to do is kind of cover a lot of what's in that program in this live video. So you can watch the live video, sign up to the program, and there's some bonus stuff that happens when you sign up to the program. But yeah, let me know. Are you a dancer? Are you a Feldenkrais practitioner? Have you been following me for a while, or is this your first time? I really want to get to know who's been watching these live streams, and please do that if you're watching on the replay as well. So if you're here because you're interested to know more about the Feldenkrais method, then you're in the right place. So I've been a Feldenkrais student of the method for close to 20 years. Probably in the next few months will be 20 years since I first made contact with this amazing revolutionary movement modality. And I did so straight from my dance training. So I trained as a professional dancer at elite level at university and was training daily. I did a whole lot of yoga as well to keep my body really in peak condition. And during my dance training, I came across breaking to be precise. Breakdance is a name given by the media. It's usually called breaking. Anyway, I was doing my breaking training, and anyone that does breaking knows that you want to master one of the extreme moves. You know, why wouldn't you? I was one of those dancers that loved jumping and big moves and expressing in a huge way. And so I was trying to do the windmill, which is the move where you're rolling around on your shoulders and getting upside down, and your legs are spinning in the air. And that move requires a lot of momentum to get yourself around. Usually it takes about 8 months to master that move. So there I was trying to get this move, and my Feldenkrais practitioner teacher said to me, go slow, do this movement, and this movement. And I was like, what? Why would I go slow? It needs momentum. But in going slow, my body was able to pattern in the movement, patterning it through the brain, through the nervous system, and firing up the muscles that needed to be fired up at the right time. That's what you can really, your body gets to really know what you're doing when you move slowly. Taps into the nervous system learns, and then you don't have to consciously know how you're doing it. Anyway, I mastered that move, and I was like, wow, there's something in this modality, in this method. And straight away, I took myself to a professional training program. I graduated that close to 15 years ago now, so I've been a certified practitioner since then. And so that's a bit of my background story. So what are we up to now? What we're going to do is I'm going to show you probably 3 parts of an awareness through movement lesson. Awareness through movement lessons, you, as I explained, you go slowly, you feel what's happening. Often the practitioner doesn't show you the movement. I will today, I'll show you, because as soon as you start seeing someone else do movement, we're conditioned to go, oh, okay, I need to do it like that. And I want you to put that out of your mind. That's not, you don't want to look at me and think, I need to do it like her. You need to discover within yourself how you move and connect with your own movement. So the best way to do that would be to even just, when we start, lay down on the floor. We start always in a supine laying down position to take gravity out of our body, and then close your eyes and listen to what I'm asking you to do, so that you're not always checking me, because obviously I'm a dancer. I've had a lot of movement training in my life, so I don't actually stretch anymore for my hips. My hips have still got that flexibility and mobility they had when I was training as a dancer, because I've kept up my practice of Feldenkrais. So yeah, make sure that that's what you're doing. I'm just going to bring my notes up again. My computer has, my second computer here is shut down. Yeah, so stay in that easy, comfortable range as you're exploring these movements. If you feel pain at all, if it hurts, don't do that movement, because when your body feels pain, it reacts by shutting down, and then you're not going to learn anything, because the nervous system wants to learn the best movement for your body, and if it's in pain, the nervous system's really smart and it will shut down. So move with the least amount of effort possible. So I'm just going to bring this down a bit so you can see my floor behind me a bit better, my lovely rug. Okay, so to begin with, let's just lay down on the floor like I explained. So we lay down, feeling how you're connected to the ground, noticing what's touching, what's not touching, and feeling the weight behind your pelvis. Can you feel if there's one hip that might be higher than the other? So if I was going to bring the ceiling down, is it level? Is there more tension in one back side of in the back of you, in one side than the other? Is one side heavier compared to the other? So you just notice, and then notice where your lower back is. You might want to even slide your hands in and feel that there's a little gap there. And then behind your chest, feeling, is there a difference in the left side compared to the right, and the way you connect with the ground? Does one side feel more connected, flatter? So it's checking in. This is what we do at the start of a lesson, and we scan our body. Won't go too much more into that. Now, what you want to do is bring your knees up into standing, and we do that by, let's just place the hands on our belly and feel the difference between these two actions. The first one, I'm just going to bring my legs straight up. And you can probably see my pelvis tilts down as I do that, and there's a lot of action inside my abdominal area. Instead, I want you to feel the spiral action of the hip joint by sliding the outside of the foot. You can see the outside of my foot's on the ground. I'm sliding it up, and I'm noticing my pelvis kind of pulls a little bit. The weight lifts off that left side, moves more to the right side, and then it comes to a point where it's almost like feels natural to bring that knee up into standing. And you can feel that your abdominals don't engage when you do that, when you bring that up. Yeah, there's just some movement of the pelvis, and then bring the other one up. There we go. And then we check in here with what is different now about how we're lying on the ground. What is different? Are we the weight of your pelvis on the ground is different, the shape of the lower back. Okay, now interlacing your fingers. Actually, I'm going to ask you not to interlace the fingers. When you interlace the fingers, if you watched last week, that can bring a lot of tension into your hands, especially if you're holding onto the knee. So place one hand over the other, and we begin by just drawing a circle with the knee and noticing how smooth it is, How round can you make that circle? How smooth? So do you feel any sticky points as you're moving your leg around? Is there anything crunchy in there? Is there an area that you want to skip past? Yeah. Often when we come to the inside and we're crossing the midline of the body, so if I'm drawing a line through my midline, through my head, through my nose, through my sternum, through my belly button, if I bring the knee to the opposite side, sometimes there can be a pinch in there. Do you feel that pinch? It's okay if you don't feel any of this. We are listening in and starting to build the awareness of our body. And place that down. And then compare that with the other leg. This leg often for me is a little bit tighter. So I can feel that pinch as I bring it over to the midline of my body. But the rest feels smooth, except, yeah, coming to that midline. And do make sure you're doing both directions. Which direction feels more comfortable and natural to you? Place that down. Now, just that is enough to tell the nervous system, okay, release, let go. Do you feel a difference now? Even take your legs long. Do you feel a difference? Okay, the next one is we're going to hold onto our knee and we're going to roll the pelvis more into the floor and then further away from the floor. More into the floor. I'm watching myself. And further away from the floor. And as you do that, your knee can move to begin with, feeling this connection between your knee and your pelvis. Now, what we want to do is differentiate between the knee and the pelvis. So the knee can move with the pelvis, but what if you hold the knee and put a space hold? I like to call it, that's what I used to call it in dance, when we hold a body part in space. So we space hold the knee and we roll the pelvis. And we can see that then we're differentiating this movement and we're also asking the hip joint to move. Yeah, this femur bone that's dropping into the hip joint, we're asking it to move and the pelvis is moving around that joint. Again, be gentle. Don't go to the full extent of where you can go. If I go to the full extent, I'm pinching a little bit here. And I don't want to feel that. I want my body to be comfortable the whole time I'm doing this awareness through movement lesson. Yeah, so we're rolling, asking something different of that hip joint. Okay, place that down. Do you feel a difference in one side compared to the other? Let's do the other leg. To begin with, we get to roll the pelvis with the knee. The knee can move with the pelvis. Okay, next, space hold that knee and rolling the pelvis. Rolling, rolling, rolling. Awesome. So we're connecting in with the pelvis. Often what's happening when you do have pain and discomfort in your pelvis, it's because the nervous system doesn't know the full range of motion that's available inside the pelvis. And it's not going to learn the full range if you're concentrating on stretching, on pulling the hip joints out. You're still going to be using the same habitual patterns, the same movements that got you there in the first place. You're not introducing new patterns. So by doing these movements, you're introducing and sharing with the nervous system the patterns of movements that were available. You know, as children, we'd roll around all the time and switch things up, and it wouldn't be, you know, we had all of this movement available to us. It's through our culture and environment that, especially sitting down a lot, you know, sitting is the new smoking. If you're sitting a lot at the computer or watching Netflix in the car driving, then yeah, we lose that range of motion. So the next one is we come down, and actually I'm going to go through this one first. Change my mind. So now what I want you to do is take the knee. So we've got our left leg up. We're going to take the knee to the right side. Let's go ahead and do that. Take the knee to the right side and bring it back. I'm not going to do it. I'm just going to ask you to do it because there's a reason. Wait for it. Now take the pelvis to the right side. So shift the weight so the pelvis shifts over to the right side. Okay. Now, did you just notice how you do that? Did you, when you shifted the pelvis, did you take the knee with you? Is that what you did? Did you move like this? So shifting the weight and taking the knee with you. Or did you put the space hold on the knee and shift the pelvis? Which one did you do? I want you to try these two variations now. So one where you take the knee and you shift the pelvis, and one where you leave the knee, space hold the knee, and shift the pelvis. Now, these actions both are shifting the pelvis, but one takes the knee with us. Remember when we were moving the pelvis and the knee? That's undifferentiated movement. So it's moving together, the knee and the pelvis. When we differentiate and we leave the knee where it is, we can see that the pelvis can move separate from the knee. Now, it's that movement that people don't know, and if they don't know it, that's what can cause a lot of knee injuries, yeah? That their pelvis can go separate from their knee. And often if people don't know that that's what their body can do, you put strain on the knee by taking the knee with the pelvis, and next thing you know, oh, you've done your ACL or whatever might happen. And that's because it's been impacted over a long period of time. And people suddenly think, oh, I've done my ACL, it's because I was doing this and this at that time that they did it. But what's actually happened is it's happened over a longer period of time, and just that moment the body gives out. So play with that. There's lots of variations. You can take the knee a little bit and then open the pelvis, and then try with the other side. Now that you know the difference, when I say shift your pelvis to the side, what do you do first? Don't think about it, just shift the pelvis. Do you take your knee with you, or do you open the hip joint up? So once again, I'm showing my nervous system that there's all of these options available to move my hip in relationship to the knee, to the ribs. You know, there's so many different options that are available. It's that we get stuck in that one option. So yeah, let's just take a rest there. Give that up. Checking in now. What is the weight of the pelvis like? Is there a difference? What is the shape of the lower back? Does it feel higher or lower than before? The weight of the shoulders on the ground. So all of these are parts of longer lessons. An awareness through movement lesson is usually 45 minutes to an hour long. Okay, so the next one, this is more of a one for dancers and yoga and people that do have a lot of movement in their hips. We're going to hang on to the toe, draw a circle in the air. I love doing this with my dance students to warm up their hip joints. We just draw this circle. How far can you move this leg over to the side, up? But we're not stretching. Don't stretch. Just feel the movement inside the hip joint. I'm not going to a stretchy place, yeah? You can hear my knee cracking maybe. And then we want to switch the knee and the elbow around. Switch it around. Switch it around. And see, we're putting we're getting that leg moving inside the hip joint. There we go. Okay. Let's just take a rest. Legs long. Okay. Let's keep going with this same hip joint. The right leg, same one. Lifting it up, And let's just swing it. And as you do that, you don't need to keep your back stiff. Move it. You want to allow the back, the lower back, everything to be comfortable. And then again, you can switch the elbow and knee over. So notice the distance between your elbow and knee. Switch it over, switch it back. That's it, over, back, over, back. I'm hoping that my sound is on. Great. Sorry for a moment there. Over, back. All right. So we're doing the same thing that we did on the floor, but in sitting. Okay, let's lie down again. Kind of speeding through this lesson. Is there a difference? Just give your leg a little turn in and out, and then give the other leg a little turn in and out. Do you feel a difference? You can imagine if you do feel a slight difference, what it would feel like over that 45 minutes lesson. In this particular lesson, we do almost 20 minutes on one side. Okay. And what I'm going to ask you to do is actually stand up and see if you can feel a difference. We're going to be out of camera. Take your weight over one leg. Take your weight over the other leg. You might not actually feel a big difference. It depends on how much subtlety in your movement you can feel. It's like when you're wine tasting and you can taste all the different tannins within the wine. This is the kind of subtlety we're reaching for and bringing the awareness into our body, the subtle differences in when I take the weight over this leg compared to this leg. Often you can feel a lot more strength through your hip joint, and you feel this great alignment. If you don't feel that yet, don't worry. Okay, let's begin on the other leg. So again, sliding the leg up to standing this way. So there's a lot more to this movement method than I'm sharing just on this very short live stream. But if you're interested to find out more, just, sign up to the free program, check it out. I'm going to switch the elbow and knee over now. Now, if you can't hold on to the toe, I should have explained this earlier, hold on to your leg, whatever you can do. But we want to keep this constraint, keep the hand holding the leg or the foot. Okay. Up like this. And I'm shifting the weight across my sit bones, switching the leg over, back. And you can see I'm using my hand. Okay, laying down. Okay. Sensing your contact with the floor, noticing what's touching, what's not touching, the shape of the lower back, the weight behind the pelvis. Having your eyes closed takes out all that visual stimulation and brings you back into your body. Okay, let's just bring the knees up and let's do that movement of circling the leg and feeling inside the hip joint. Is it smoother? Is there less crunchiness? Go both ways. And then the other knee. Moving. I feel less of a pinch now in that leg. Interesting. See, I'm still learning. Myself, I'm still learning every time that I'm doing this method. Sorry. Had no one join us live, that's fine. Please let me hear from you, replay viewers. How did you find that? If you want more, there's more in that free Happy Hips video program. I've put the link in the description. Obviously, a lot more deeper dive in the full program, but I know many of my students always go back to this video series that I've put together to release their hips. So if you enjoyed this, please make sure you subscribe to my channel so you know when I'm going live next. Every Saturday morning is when I'm committed to sharing my live videos here on YouTube. If you sign up to the Happy Hips program, that gets you on my email list so you can hear about the other programs and content that I create. Make sure you click that bell icon as well so you do get notified when I'm launching new videos. At this stage, I'm just concentrating on live, but you never know. I could be putting some new videos together, especially when it comes to teaching dance and how I use the Feldenkrais method to warm up my students and keep them connected to their body. So thanks for watching. I look forward to seeing you guys next Saturday. Bye.